Hi, thanks for watching any video blog. Today from Tallinn, Estonia. And here behind me you can see a nice view. As a natural person, a person that's trying to live as natural as possible, I am just astonished about the school system. From a natural perspective, it is one of the weirdest things that you can imagine. Because in nature, children are basically let free, but they will learn things that are important to them for their lives, for their future lives. And in the school system, you see basically the opposite. Children are not free, they're forced to be somewhere. And secondly, they will learn things that have no use whatsoever in their lives. And you might say now, wait a minute, I learned calculating, I learned to write, I've learned geography and all these things. But how much do you really need those things in civilization? Because in civilization, we have now AI, we have Google, we have internet. What good are all these things still in 2025? And you might say, oh, I needed to get a job. Well, will you even get a job with AI, robots, internet, digitalization of the world going on and on and on and becoming more prominent each year? Do you really even matter in that world, in that digital, robotic, artificial intelligence world? Now that is something that you can think about. But from my perspective, the school system is just very odd, to say the least. To force children at a young age in a building to sit still the whole day, to do boring tasks and not even pay them for their labor. And if this was voluntarily, I would not have a problem with it, because people do many things voluntarily that I think are very stupid, like drinking and doing drugs and watching pornography and all these things. But you don't really have a choice. In many countries, you have to send your children to school. There is no homeschooling option. That to me is odd. Why on earth are people, are children forced to do something against their will? Because that's what you see. Children don't like school. They hate it. It shows in their behavior. I was a teacher myself, and when I was in my naive state, early 20s, I was thinking, oh, it's great, I'll share knowledge and they will be happy to listen to me. But of course not, the opposite is true. Children don't want to be there, they hate it, they think it's boring, they think it's useless, and they have an urgency in that area to socialize with their peers. They're not looking for to learn boring things and do boring tasks that are meaningless. They want to socialize with their peers and they want to grow in that matter. And I was forcing them to be quiet the whole day, to not move around, to not make jokes, to shift their attention from their peers to the boring class. And to me that became more odd. I was a teacher for maybe 10 years, but I finally gave up on it because I thought it just was super odd. And it is super unnatural. Especially when you see the modern schools. They sit in a small room in a concrete building, which is of course bad because of the radiation, but they sit there, you have to sit still, artificial lights, maybe nowadays even LED lights, which are even worse than the previous artificial lights. And they have to sit still, and nowadays they even have to do many things like on laptops and computers. And it's so artificial, it's so fake. It goes so against their nature. And like I say, if somebody chooses to live like that, then it's fine with me. But they're not. They're forced to sit there whole day, and also they're not getting paid. Now, if you do something like that in real life, of course, the labor unions will reach out and say, hey, how is it possible that you cram so many people in a small space without even paying them and forcing them. It's super strange. We have just somehow, someday, started to believe that it was normal, that this was good. But if you think about it, if I would now make a law that says all adults have to go from 9 until 4, sit in a small room on bad chairs that are harmful for your body, and you're not getting paid, and you have to listen the whole day to boring lectures. Nobody will agree on that, and in one day this will be there will be a revolution, because all the unions, of course, they will fight this. You have to get paid, you have to get proper rest, because that's another thing, homework. How is it possible that after a long day sitting quietly in a building doing boring tasks, you still have to do course at home, tasks at home, study at home? It's like they want you to be completely occupied with the school system. This is maybe the most insane thing. That you go from morning until late afternoon to school, and then you have to do things at home, homework, for another few hours. More hours to spend on this. How is that even logically possible? Like I say, if you do this in the real life, if you say, okay, you work from 9 to 5, but also you have to do 3 more hours at home, nobody will agree on that job. They will say, yeah, you Grace, I need my free time also to socialize, to relax. There's more in life than this. But for students, for children, we think it's acceptable. This is what maybe irritates me the most about this system. I might have been more positive to say, okay, it's school, and then 3 o'clock you're free, and then next day. And not all these exams and all these tests and all this homework, because that creates unnecessary stress. Constantly stressing the children. You have to produce, you have to get good marks, you have to be occupied with the school system. If it was just something, you go there, you do something, maybe you learn something. No, it's like a full-time job plus. So you already have a full-time job with extra work at home without getting paid. It's all unpaid. And you do not build up anything. It's not like you make something and it's useful later, like tools, for example. Say nature, you have tools that you created, and they are maybe useful for the rest of your life. It's not like that. Not at all. It's just like you wrote a paper, teacher barely looks at it and throws it away. It's just nothing. It's just like Snapchat. You make something and in 5 minutes or less, it's 2 seconds or something, I don't know, it's gone. It's nothing. It's just air. So that is, from my perspective, it's become more and more insane. And I see children being stressed over this. They're living in full stress because they have exams. They need to do homework. They need to study. They want to. That's very, to me, it's like extremely insane. It's insane. School system for me, no. I'm going to homeschool my children, and like unschooling. I will want them to learn real things without sitting down hours a day and stressing them with things. That's not right. And it really is the strangest system that I've seen. And we all agree on that. People in civilization agree on taking part in this, sending their children there. Because why do they send the children there? Not because they think it's very useful, but mostly because it's free kindergarten. That's it. The children will get taken care of and they can work. That's it. It's cheap. It's free. It's not really a concern what they do there. They're being forcefully unnatural in small rooms with total strangers, which result mostly in bullying and stress and depression. But of course the parents are of course indoctrinated by this idea. Oh, it's very useful, you need to do this, blah blah blah. I can understand that, but now it's maybe time to open up to see why it's not that great. And we all know this because nobody said like, oh, school is... No, of course not. So, that was it for today. From Tallinn, Estonia, I say thank you for watching and see you next time.